Hello and welcome to your 15-minute movement session. Today we're going to be exploring a flow to improve our posture. So we'll need a yoga mat and some form of yoga prop. So whether that's a block or a bolster or even just a cushion to pop underneath our shoulder blades. Placing that just partway down your mat, and we'll begin in Supta Baddha Konasana, or a reclined hip opener. Just bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees wide, so the feet are quite far from the body, and we want to lie over that prop support so that it lands just underneath our shoulder blades. Resting the head back to the floor, and you can either rest your hands by sides, or you might reach the hands overhead and interlace the fingertips. Getting a nice stretch for the shoulders and the underarms. So just settling into wherever is most comfortable for you, closing down the eyes and beginning to soften over that prop support. So we'll be exploring a series of back bends today to unround the spinal column, to encourage a little opening into the chest and the shoulders. As we find a moment of stillness here in our day, just beginning to tune into the natural rhythm of your breath. Feeling your belly gently rise as you breathe in. And your belly gently soften as you breathe out. Body relaxed. Taking another couple of breaths here as we are in this beautiful passive restorative pose. You might start to feel a release around the area of the hips, perhaps the lower back. And just noticing where you feel this stretch. One last belly breath in through the nose and softly out through the mouth. As slowly as you can, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor, reaching your right arm overhead just so you can roll to one side, removing that prop support from beneath you. And we'll hug the knees into the chest and just take a little rock from side to side here, massaging and releasing the lower back. And then we'll rest the soles of the feet to the floor, hip distance apart, walking the feet nice and close into the buttocks, palms of the hands by the sides, and we'll move into some breathing bridges. So as you breathe in, scoop the tailbone under, feel the hips lift from the floor, and continue vertebrae by vertebrae to lift the spinal column up and off the mat. And then as you exhale, slowly rolling back down the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. So we're just limbering up the spinal column to begin. Breathing in, press into the feet, lift the hips, peeling up and off the spine. And breathing out, slowly rolling down upper back, middle back, lower back. Let's take 3 more like that. Breathing in, lifting up, press to the inner line of your feet, engaging the inner line of your legs. Long exhale to slowly roll your way back down the spine. 2 more like that. Breathing in, lifting up. And breathing out, releasing to the floor. Last one, inhale, coming up, maybe lift the hips just that little bit higher. And we'll exhale to release. Beautiful. Let's bring our knees up, feet to about knee height, flexing your toes towards the body, and I want you to pull the belly in, making sure that your lower back is in contact with the floor. And straight away we start to feel that engagement with our abdominal strength. We need our abdominal strength to support our posture, to help us to sit upright. So we're going to engage that a little bit and work on building our strength. So hands come out to shoulder height or to a cactus arm shape. I want you to keep your feet and your knees together, and then slowly drawing the knees across to the right hand side just to hover off the floor. So we're using the strength of our core to hold us here. And then we breathe in, slowly come through center. And then we breathe out, twist around to the other side. And again with the breath. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, twisting to the right. Both shoulders plugged into the floor. Inhale through center. Exhale, legs twist across to the left. One more either side, breathing in through center. Breathing out, twist, plugging those feet and knees together, both shoulders grounded to the floor. Inhale through center. And exhale to twist to the left, getting a nice release through the thoracic spine. Inhaling through center, we'll hug the knees to the chest, breathe in, lift the forehead towards the knees. And breathe out, release the whole body flat along the mat. And we'll take a lateral stretch here, so keep your hips right in the middle of your mat. I want you to walk the legs over to the right hand side, and you might wrap the left leg or foot over the right. And again, shuffling your shoulders to the right, extending your hands overhead, and you might reach the right fingertips around the left wrist, just holding here in our banana pose. As we're slouching or spending a lot of time folding forwards, we tend to compress into the lateral sides of our body, into our waist. Lateral stretches help us to open all of that up again, helping improve our posture, stretching the obliques and the intercostal muscles. I'm just taking one more breath here. And then slowly making your way through center. We'll come all the way across to the other side, shuffling your shoulders to the left, reaching the left fingertips around the right wrist, taking a gentle pull of the hands overhead. And the same way with the legs, we're going to reach that right foot and wrap it over the left leg. Holding here, breathing into the right side body. Creating that spaciousness, as well as moving into a bit of mobility through the spine. For one more breath. Beautiful. Slowly making your way through center, either rolling to one side or hug behind the back of your knees and take a little rock to come up. And we'll come over to our 4-point position. So I want you to bring the hands shoulder width, knees and feet hip distance. We'll tuck the toes under and just move through a couple of cat-cows, inhaling, soften the belly, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, round the spine, gently tuck the chin to the chest. So link your breath with movement. Inhale, arch the spine open. Round in, really press to the palms and push up between the shoulder blades. For 2 more, inhale, open. Again, beautiful way to limber up the spinal column. Exhale, rounding in. For those of us that tend to slouch a little bit, inhale, open. And exhale, rounding in. Finding a neutral spine here, we'll untuck the toes. Reaching the hands forward for our puppy pose. You might choose to use your block support here underneath the forehead, or resting the forehead flat to the floor as you begin to soften the chest and the shoulders down towards the mat. So we're aiming to create a beautiful arch through the spinal column. Again, releasing our shoulders, unrounding the spine. Taking 3 breaths here. Continuing to soften and relax into the shape. And slowly as you breathe in, lift the forehead, walk the hands back towards the body. Just move aside that prop support. And from here, we're going to come to find our first downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips, and you might begin to pedal out through the feet, just starting to open our hamstrings a little bit. Maybe dipping through the hips, just however it feels good to move your own body today. And then coming to find some stillness in our downward facing dog, taking a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Next breath in, we're going to round and roll forwards through to our plank pose, holding here for an exhale. Press the heels to the back of your mat. And we'll slowly drop the knees to the floor, untuck the feet, and lower down to the mat, squeezing your elbows in, using a bit of upper body strength. And then we're going to slide our hands a bit wider than the shoulders. Pressing the pelvic bone into the floor, we breathe in, lift, and open the chest. Breathing out, gently peel your way back down towards the floor. So we'll take 2 more like that. Engaging the glutes as you come up, breathing in, protecting the lower back, breathing out, soften to release. Last one with the breath. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to lower, sliding your hands back underneath your shoulders. We'll tuck through the toes and press into the hands to roll over your knees and back into your downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in here. And a full breath out through the mouth. So you have the option to hold in your downward facing dog if that's enough for your shoulders. Otherwise, release the knees to the floor, and we're going to come a bit deeper into our dolphin pose. Releasing the forearms down to the floor. So we want our hands and our elbows at shoulder width. And then we can lift the knees again and come back into that downward facing dog shape. Feeling a depth here into the shoulders as we open a little more. Just for 3 breaths. Feeling that nice release into the shoulder girdles, the back body. Last breath. And then from here, we'll come back up to our downward facing dog. You might release the knees to the floor or slowly use the strength of the upper body to lift your way back up. And then we're going to round and roll forwards once again into our plank pose. Using your exhale to release the knees down, untuck the feet and slowly lower. We'll find our Sphinx pose from here. So bring the forearms forward. Again, hands and elbows are shoulder width. Option to hold here, it might be enough for you. Activating our glutes by scooping the tailbone under and broadening the collarbones. If you want to come a bit deeper, we'll extend the hands wider and lift and open here. Beautiful back bend variation to get a little bit deeper into the thoracic spine. Just for 1 more breath as we are. And then slowly release, sliding your hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and we'll roll over the knees. Returning to our downward facing dog, take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Let's lift the right leg up to hip height, breathing in. Slowly breathe out, knee to nose. We'll lightly step the foot through the hands and drop the back knee to the floor. Untuck the foot, breathe in, come up, hands overhead. Breathe out, soften forward through your hips, and I want you to sweep the hands back behind you, interlacing the fingertips behind the back. Squeezing the palms and the shoulder blades together, we lift and open the chest. And this is probably one of the best postures we can take as an antidote for our rounded posture. We're starting to open into the hip flexors, the chest, and the shoulders for 1 more breath. And then from here, gently release the hands, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, return into your downward facing dog. Take 1 breath in here. And exhale to release. Left leg lifts to hip height, breathing in. Let's lightly draw the knee to the nose and step or help the foot through the hands. We'll drop the back knee, untuck the foot, breathe in, lift the hands overhead. Breathe out, soften forwards, reaching the hands back. And again, interlace the fingertips the opposite way now. That feels a little bit unusual. Squeeze the hands and shoulders together, lift and open the gaze, feeling that beautiful stretch into the front line of your body. Beautiful release into the right hip flexors for 1 more breath. And then again, we'll gently release, frame the front foot, tuck your back toes, lift that knee, return into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Let's inhale, round and roll forwards to our last plank pose. Hold here. Take 1 more breath as you are. Exhale, release the knees to the floor, untuck the feet, slowly lower, and we'll finish with Shalabhasana, forehead resting to the floor. Reach your hands behind you to interlace the fingertips. Take that bind and squeeze the palms to the back of your mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then as you breathe in, lift the forehead, keep the chin tucking in. Nice length into the back of your neck. If it feels okay on your lower back, we're going to lift the feet. And you might find that you gently roll over the belly as you breathe. Not only are we releasing here into the front line of the body, releasing the chest and the shoulders, but we're also strengthening the back line of the body, the glutes, the muscles either side of our spine. But again, help us to sit nice and tall. One more breath here, lift a little higher as you breathe in. And we'll exhale, release. Place the hands beneath your shoulders and just come back to finish in a closed knee child's pose. Sitting the hips back to the heels, forehead to the floor, closing down the eyes. Taking some long and lengthened breaths here. Feeling that beautiful counter posture, particularly for your lower back in this pose. You can take as long as you like here in the posture, or come to find a mini Shavasana, resting and relaxing the body. Otherwise, slowly walking your way back onto the heels as you come upright, finishing our 15-minute practice, hopefully feeling a little more open through your posture. Thank you for joining me, and I shall see you again soon.